discussions will be based on the revision test question. I hope you are sitting with the answer sheet, and if possible sit with another color pen, do the marking and write at the top the total mark. Total mark was 12 marks. So we'll start with the question number 1. Write reactions and observations. See, if now in the question, if it is not mentioned balanced equation, then also you have to give balanced chemical equation. It is repeatedly said that equation has to be balanced because no mark is given if the equation is not balanced. So first question is lead nitrate is heated. Now this question I am tired of saying that it's very important, and I hope all of you have done correct for this particular question. So when lead nitrate is heated, this is our equation and this is a balancing. What is the observation? 1 mark is there for each reaction and observation. So total 6 marks, 3 question, 2 for each, 1 for reaction, 1 for observation. So can be white solid or heating turns yellow or reddish brown gases involved. Any one of these 2 can be accepted. Do not write colorless gas evolves, then it is wrong. Do not write, okay, colorless gas. So it can be white to yellow or reddish brown gas. Question number 2 is silver nitrate is added to sodium chloride solution. Another very popular, silver nitrate and NaCl, when they react, that is a double decomposition reaction. So this is already balanced, and observation is a cardi white precipitate is formed. If you have written only white precipitate, then also correct. Third is chlorine gas is passed over heated iron coil. So iron coil, chlorine gas is passed over. Product is ferric chloride, not FeCl2, it's FeCl3. What is the observation? Reddish brown scales of ferric chloride is formed. Scales means small pieces. So when greenish yellow gas is passed over brown iron coil, we get a scale of reddish brown scales of ferric chloride. If you do not write these colors, no problem. Only color of ferric chloride will be okay. Solid particles, deposition of reddish brown ferric chloride scales. Now this 3 to 2 marks 6. Question number 2, write reaction where following conditions are involved. Electricity. Now electricity, if you are writing water, acidulated or acidified the water is writing is must. So your answer will be 2H2O gives 2H2 plus O2. So bottom you have to write acidified. If you are writing NaCl, you need to write molten. So conditions are important. Acidified, okay, you need to write this. Then electricity, electric current, or if you are writing NaCl, you must write molten. Acidified, sorry, electricity. What am I writing? This can be. Second is pressure, Haber's process reaction, N2 plus 3H2, 2NH3. Catalyst, many examples are there. 2KClO3 gives 2KCl plus 3O2, and then decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, 2H2O2 gives 2H2O plus O2. Even this Haber's process reaction, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3, any one of this is correct. So here 1 mark for each, so 3 marks. Question number 3 is give example of an endothermic reaction. Here also the reaction has to be balanced. It can be N2 plus O2, 2NO, or any correct endothermic reaction. You can match it with the book. Many examples are there. If you have written any one example from there, it is correct. Because so many are there, I am not repeating all those. Distinguish chemically. First one is copper to carbonate and zinc to carbonate. Now there is only one option to do that, is heating. No need to write reaction in distinguish chemically. What you need to write is what is the method by which you are doing the distinguishing and what is the difference in observation. So the first one is copper carbonate and zinc carbonate. On heating, copper carbonate forms a black residue, and on heating zinc carbonate forms a residue which is yellow when hot and white when cold. You may or may not refer to the initial observation. You may or may not mention the initial observation, but final observation has to be written down. Second is sodium nitrate solution, sodium sulfate solution. Now here cations are same and anions are different, nitrate and sulfate. So when they are like this combination, best is adding barium chloride. when you are adding barium chloride to sodium nitrate solution, nitrate only I gave, yes, if you are adding barium chloride solution, they will react of course with each other, but there will be formation of a colorless solution. No specific observation, but if you are adding sodium sulfate to barium chloride solution, there will be formation of white precipitate of barium sulfate. This is a white precipitate which is not seen in this case. So how to write that? On adding barium chloride to sodium nitrate solution, we get a colorless solution, or no precipitate is seen, or no change is observed, because the entire reaction, all product and reactant all are colorless. So you can write no observation, no visible observation, and in case of sodium sulfate there is a white precipitate. So 1 mark for each. So in every case 2 things has to be correct. So for the previous one you have to mention heating and the difference in observation. Both the observation has to correct, and here also barium chloride solution. You must add the word barium chloride solution because solid we don't use, and here no observation, and here white precipitate. So that's about chapter 2. You write down the total marks, how much you have got out of 12, okay, and check where you have done the mistakes. I'll be taking more tests on this chapter based on distinguished chemically. Some more discussions we can have. So let us today go back to water. Now previous day we had a lot of discussions on those polarity and high dielectric constant matter, and we have seen that water, it looks simple, but actually the chemistry of water is very vast. So because of so many properties, water is called universal solvent. Today we will have a bit of discussion on this term solution. We all know solution is a mixture of solute and solvent. Solvent, when generally is taken in the larger amount, we are adding solute in that. Solute plus solvent gives a solution. Depending on the amount of solute present in a solvent, we classify them as saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated. So what is solubility of a solvent? At a particular temperature, a fixed amount of solvent, if can hold x gram of the solute, then we call the solubility is x gram at a particular temperature. If it is solvent is 100 grams, so per 100 gram. So for every solvent there is a limit or a fixed amount of solid which it can hold at a particular temperature, because if you change the temperature there will be change in solubility as well. So suppose we are talking about a fixed temperature, that is room temperature. So at room temperature a solvent can hold, a fixed amount of solvent can hold x gram of solute. So if x gram only there present at that particular temperature to the solvent, we call it saturated solution. That means in a solution, if the solution cannot hold more amount of solute in it at a particular temperature, it is called a saturated solution. What's an unsaturated solution? At a particular temperature, when a fixed amount of solvent can hold more amount of solute in it, it is called unsaturated solution. That means it has less than x gram of the substance, and supersaturated is if it is more than that of x gram. So what it can hold? More than that of it is present. How to make it dissolve? By changing pressure and temperature, we can make it supersaturated solution. So based on the quantity of the solute present, we can classify them as saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated solution. Now there is a huge effect of temperature on the solubility. Not only temperature, there is a huge effect of pressure also, but in our syllabus we have temperature, though you have read both this temperature pressure factor in class 8. So solute can be solid, can be liquid, can be gas. Mainly we focus in solid here. Gases, you know that on increasing temperature solubility of the gas decreases, decreasing temperature solubility of the gas increases. Our regular life carbonated water is a big example of this. Pressure, temperature, both effects are here in carbonated drink, carbon dioxide in water. In case of solids, there are multiple examples where on increasing temperature solubility of the substance increases. There are examples as well where solubility decreases, and there is example where solubility almost remains same, maybe a little bit of increasing. And there is example where initially increases and then decreases. So next day we will come with all these factors, this increasing decreasing matter, though we had a discussion in class 8, but then also, and then we'll have those Rorschach crystallization and all those discussions. So that's about today's class. I hope you all have understood your mistakes, your faults. You keep revising, and what is polar, what is having high dielectric constant, these things also keep thinking as well. So see you in the next class. Take care of your health, take care of your hygiene. Bye.